Disasters continue to strike China. Heavy rain in Guangdong floods many towns, roads collapse in Shenzhen, many vehicles are swept away. Hebei flood victims are angry and intercept the provincial party secretary's convoy. Our homes are gone. A fire broke out at the Dongzhai in Zhaoxing, Guizhou, killing many people. 3 earthquakes lasting 70 minutes occurred in Neijiang, Sichuan, leading to the urgent closure of many railways. China Huarong's estimated loss in the first half of the year was nearly 5 billion yuan, and its debt amounted to trillions. Xi Jinping lies flat as China's economy is heading for collapse. Experts reveal the inside story. It's all covered in today's China Truths. Disasters continue to strike China. Heavy rain in Guangdong floods many towns, roads collapse in Shenzhen, many vehicles are swept away. Natural disasters continue to strike the people of China. On August 18th, in the Guangdong Pearl River Delta and the eastern Guangdong region, there was a sudden heavy downpour. The heavy rain triggered internal flooding, causing extensive waterlogging in various parts of the city, with water depths reaching up to 1 meter in some areas. Some streets turned into rivers, with refrigerators and cars being swept away, and underground parking garages were also flooded. Videos show water levels rapidly rising in a country garden underground parking garage, prompting several car owners to riskily attempt to retrieve their vehicles, leading to some individuals being swept away by the water. On the streets, severe flooding is evident, with numerous vehicles stranded in the middle of the road, including one sedan floating on the water's surface, drifting with the currents. According to Jinmu News, the Sandu Market Street in Chang'an Town has been severely flooded. The entire street, from one end to the other, was submerged, with several small cars partially submerged and even floating on the water. The owner of an eyeglass store on the street mentioned that the water gradually rose within half an hour, flooding his store to a depth of about 30 centimeters. Many eyeglass frames inside the store were submerged, resulting in losses of several thousand yuan. In the Beinishan Industrial Park of Yangu Village in Dalingshan Town, numerous factories were inundated. One factory owner mentioned that the water reached knee level, about 50 centimeters deep, and many machines inside the factory were submerged. He estimated that the entire industrial park's losses could exceed 1 million yuan, and everyone is currently tallying the data. Meanwhile, in Shenzhen, Longhua District, on the same day, heavy rain and localized torrential rain also caused internal flooding. Videos show roads turning into rivers, and food delivery drivers swimming to make deliveries. One vehicle lost control and was swept away. The Huarong community in Dalan Street, with buildings 49 to 50 in the second phase, experienced road subsidence, leading to the evacuation of 342 residents in the vicinity. Hebei flood victims are angry and intercept the provincial party secretary's convoy. Our homes are gone. As we've been reporting recently, in order to protect Beijing and the Xiong'an area, several places in Hebei have become sacrificial victims, with some areas suffering heavy losses of lives and property due to the sudden release of floodwaters without warning. The recent flood disaster has passed, but the pain of those who remain behind still cannot be eased. On August 18th, a video circulated online indicating that the secretary of the Hebei Provincial Party Committee went to the affected areas to assess the situation but was intercepted by local villagers. The video shows multiple villagers blocking the convoy, with some sitting on the ground to prevent the convoy from moving forward. Several government officials attempted to disperse the villagers, with one villager shouting, "Is this how higher-level leaders treat villagers?" and repeatedly saying, "My home is gone," and "Let him come down." Let the leaders come out, and questioning, "Have they asked our villagers? Are they missing?" In another video clip, a person who appears to be an official led the villagers to the side of the road in an attempt to let the convoy pass. However, when the villagers noticed this, they followed and blocked the vehicles. One villager can be heard saying, "We want to talk to the provincial governor. The county governor is not effective." The current status of the situation's aftermath is not yet known. Comments below the video express sorrow and indignation at hearing the repeated phrase, "My home is gone." In early August, the secretary of the Hebei Provincial Party Committee, Neijiang, had sparked public anger when he inspected flood prevention and disaster relief efforts in Baoding City in the Xiong'an area, stating that they should strengthen communication with the National Flood Control and Drought Relief Headquarters and, following relevant work requirements, orderly activate flood storage and detention areas to alleviate flood pressure on Beijing and resolutely act as the moat for the capital. This statement led to public outrage, and authorities promptly removed related discussions from social media platforms. A fire broke out at the Dongzhai Inn in Zhaoxing, Guizhou, killing many people. On the morning of August 18, tragedy struck the Dream Zhaoxing Inn located in Zhaoxing Village, Zhaoxing Town, Liping County, Guizhou Province, as a fierce fire engulfed the premises, claiming a minimum of 9 lives. The Liping County Emergency Management Bureau promptly disclosed that the fire erupted at 1:02 a.m. and raged for over 30 minutes before being successfully quelled. The blaze devoured approximately 240 square meters of space and wrought destruction upon a brick and concrete structured edifice. Presently, the exact cause behind this devastating incident remains shrouded in mystery. Upstream News, in its recent coverage, quoted an eyewitness named Mr. Zhang who recounted that the inn, comprised of 3 floors, became engulfed in flames. Amidst the chaos, an individual resorted to leaping from the building in a desperate attempt to escape, while the conflagration's intensity led flames to surge upwards of 10 meters. According to available public information, Zhaoxing Village, historically referred to as Guangdong, finds itself positioned 70 kilometers to the south of Liping County in Guizhou Province. Presently boasting nearly 800 households and spanning an expanse of 180,960 square meters, the village stands as one of the largest Dong communities across the nation. Last month, on the 10th, a fire blazed through a homestay within the Sichuan Chinhumiao village scenic area, culminating in a tragic toll of at least 2 fatalities and 6 injuries. The incident was further marked by multiple explosions at the site, captured on video, depicting residents making daring escapes by leaping from third-floor heights. Earthquakes lasting 70 minutes occurred in Neijiang, Sichuan, leading to the urgent closure of many railways. On August 18, a series of consecutive earthquakes jolted Neijiang, Sichuan, unfolding within a remarkably short span of 70 minutes. The seismic activity prompted the swift closure of local railway lines, compounding the disruption. As per official measurements from the China Seismic Network, the first earthquake struck the Huarong district of Neijiang City, Sichuan Province, at 10:39 a.m. on August 18, registering a magnitude of 4.0. The tremor's focal depth reached 10 kilometers. Preceding this, at 9:30 a.m. and 9:52 a.m., 2 3.4 magnitude earthquakes rocked Sichuan County, with a similar focal depth of 10 kilometers. The epicenter of these seismic episodes lay at a distance of 19 kilometers from Huarong District, 20 kilometers from Sichuan County, and 18 kilometers from Neijiang City. Impacting the region's infrastructure, the Southwest Railway conveyed that the vibrations from the earthquakes reverberated along the railway lines and affected select stations across Sichuan Province. Consequently, railway authorities took immediate action, instituting closures on the segments between Chengdu-Chongqing Intercity Railway's Zhejiang North Station and Neijiang North Station, as well as the Mianlu High-Speed Railway's Neijiang East Station and Zhigung Station. Local media reported that the seismic disturbances forced the suspension of 52 train services. China Huarong's estimated loss in the first half of the year was nearly 5 billion yuan, and its debt amounted to trillions. Having its roots in November 1999, China Huarong stands as China's preeminent non-performing asset management corporation. Its primary mission was to acquire non-performing loans from banks, facilitating the resurgence of the state-owned financial sector. A recent official statement released on August 17 by China Huarong Asset Management Company sheds light on its financial outlook for the first half of 2023. Based on preliminary evaluations, the period spanning January 1 to June 30, 2023, is expected to register a net loss of approximately 4.6 billion to 5 billion yuan, $631.73 million to $686.66 million, for the company's shareholders. It is worth noting that in 2022, the company's net loss amounted to nearly 18.9 billion yuan, about $2.6 billion. Furthermore, data indicated that as of the close of 2022, China Huarong's cumulative liabilities had ballooned to a staggering 907 billion yuan, about $124.5 billion. The recently disclosed performance report for 2022, unveiled in March, disclosed China Huarong's total revenue at 37.26 billion yuan, about 12 cents billion, marking a substantial 45.3% year-on-year contraction. Shareholders bore the brunt of a staggering loss of 27.58 billion yuan, about $3.79 billion. Remarkably, this marks the third consecutive year of financial losses endured by Huarong. On March 17, a financial reckoning befell 8 firms, with China Huarong at the forefront, facing a collective fine amounting to 800,000 yuan, about $110,000. The Ministry of Finance within the CCP stated that from 2014 to 2019, China Huarong faced many predicaments. Some of them involved risk control deficiencies and serious accounting misrepresentations at China Huarong during Lai Xiaoman's tenure as party secretary and chairman of the company. Lai Xiaoman's entanglement with the authorities began in 2018 when an investigation into his actions was launched. His crimes, which included bribery, embezzlement, and bigamy, eventually led to his death sentence and execution in 2021. Xi Jinping lies flat as China's economy is heading for collapse. Experts reveal the inside story. Recent economic data releases by the CCP for July further corroborate the grim trajectory of the economy. The pillars of economic growth, namely investment, consumption, and the driving industries, have all contracted. A series of tumultuous events have engulfed real estate, financial giants, and even state-owned enterprises, prompting growing concerns of an impending severe economic scenario. In the face of this daunting backdrop, Beijing's response has been notably restrained. The Chinese Communist Party's leader, Xi Jinping, along with senior officials, have notably disappeared from the public spotlight over the past 2 weeks. Notably lacking are major economic stimulus measures, leaving market confidence wanting. In the assessment provided, the reluctance of the CCP to implement comprehensive countermeasures can be attributed to the intricate web of self-contradictory policies, a problem that has entrapped Xi Jinping. As a consequence, lower and mid-level officials are grappling with uncertainty, discouraging private enterprises, and accelerating their exodus from the Chinese market. During a recent session of the State Council, Chinese Premier Li Qiang stated that the trajectory of reform and openness would persist. A commitment was made to introduce policies aimed at stimulating consumption, propelling investment, optimizing the landscape for private enterprises, and increasing efforts to attract foreign capital. However, the specifics of these strategies remain undisclosed. Recent actions such as the enactment of the anti-espionage law and the high-profile raids on foreign consulting firms have instilled ripples of apprehension within the international business community. Furthermore, Xi Jinping's pronounced emphasis on national security has inadvertently shackled economic advancement, undermining revival efforts and casting doubt on Beijing's aspirations to draw in financial inflow. Delving into the crux of the matter this year, Christopher Better, Deputy Director of China Research at Guangzhou Economic News, articulated that the leadership's overarching directive to officials, aimed at striking a balance between economic advancement and national security, has led to a perplexing situation. Officials are stranded in ambiguity, delaying decisive actions until they receive more comprehensive guidance. The outcome, as Better emphasized, is a state of policy paralysis, notwithstanding the substantial toll it exacts. Professor Xie Tian, a notable figure in marketing at the Aiken School of Business within the University of South Carolina, conveyed to the Epoch Times on August 17 that China's economic predicament has plummeted into a profound recession. According to figures disclosed by the Chinese State Administration of Foreign Exchange on August 16, foreign investors' bond holdings experienced a substantial decrease of 37 billion yuan in July, settling at 3.24 trillion yuan. Statistics reveal a stark reality. Direct foreign investment in China by international enterprises during the second quarter amounted to a mere $4.9 billion, marking an alarming 87% year-on-year decline. In response to this, the CCP has recently proposed 24 initiatives to entice foreign investment and an additional 31 regulations aimed at buttressing private enterprises. Professor Xie Tian, however, dismisses these endeavors as mere repackaging of prior strategies, characterized by placing novel content into familiar containers. He asserts that the efficacy of such approaches has proven lackluster at best. Casting a critical eye on the so-called large-scale stimulus measures, Xie Tian underscored that the Chinese Communist Party, CCP, in pursuit of resuscitating the economy, has repeatedly infused trillions of yuan, to no discernible effect. Rather than generating the desired outcomes, these measures have engendered inflationary pressures within the real estate and capital sectors, exacerbated by an indiscriminate printing of money, while concurrently acknowledging the looming specter of unbridled inflation. The current landscape finds the CCP adopting alternative strategies to address fiscal shortfalls. One illustrative example is the recent campaign against medical corruption, wherein it is estimated that this drive will recuperate substantial amounts of ill-gotten gains, totaling trillions of yuan. Such funds are to be retrieved through the apprehension of corrupt officials and subsequently channeled to alleviate pressing financial deficits. In terms of direct fiscal intervention to stimulate the economy, Xie Tian contends that the CCP lacks both intent and resources. Elaborating further, he highlights a prevailing skepticism among the Chinese populace, even if funds were distributed by the government. Confidence in the administration is tepid, and consequently, citizens are inclined to hoard funds rather than channel them into consumption. According to Xie Tian, the prevailing priorities within the CCP have shifted away from economic construction and economic well-being. Instead, the focus centers on safeguarding the party's supremacy and the continuity of its regime. He elucidates that this shift can be attributed to two paramount concerns. Firstly, Xi Jinping perceives a looming threat to the existence of the regime itself. Secondly, Xi Jinping is seemingly preparing for an assertive stance, potentially encompassing military actions or even the prospect of a forceful annexation of Taiwan, as a measure to preserve the CCP's reign. Xie Tian contends that the array of political, economic, and anti-corruption strategies orchestrated by the CCP are fundamentally aligned with the overarching goal of extending the party's longevity, thus facilitating its ongoing survival. Don't forget to comment in the section below to share your opinions on today's topic with us. Make sure to like and subscribe to see more interesting topics from China Truths.